My name is Sarah Dunkley, and I wanted to talk to you about Indigenous storytelling. Just going to share a few teachings that I have had passed on to me and some work that I've done recently to share this information. So, storytelling traditionally it was a winter activity for the sake of just storytelling. It's the time when the earth is sleeping and the bears are sleeping and the birds have gone south. And it's just the time of slower energy. So it's when we're not doing our planting and our harvesting so much. Oral storytelling is the way of our ancestors, and it's always been important to share the teachings and legends and the knowledge of our people. We weren't a people of written skills. Some of the Indigenous people used petroglyphs and other pictographs to depict their life and teachings. Stories were always told in a way that each listener would take their own meaning from it. Their stories are repeated so that they can be told for generations. It's also important to think of the 7 generations or the faces yet to come. We do not tell our listeners the moral of the story. It's important for them to open their ears and their heart. This is how we learn what we're meant to get from whatever it is that we're meant to get from each story. This is how we learn. So we share our teachings on how to get along and how to stay away from danger. Just trying to protect the kids from dangers in the community or in the environment that we live in. They're a way of teaching why things are the way they are in the universe. There's personal stories, sacred stories, historical stories. There's stories that are social and political, or there's always entertaining and humorous stories. So we just share our stories to reflect perceptions and relationships, beliefs and attitudes. So some are very serious stories to intimidate in order to keep children out of harm's way, but some are very humorous as a reminder that laughter is one of our greatest medicines. Stories are meant to take a listener to a place of reflection and understanding, and it makes them think about how the story affects them or how it makes sense to them or those around them. We as individuals may or may not see ourselves as storytellers, but in reality we all are. We carry our own story and we create our own story. We have teachings to share, and everyone is a piece of the grand puzzle of life. No one is greater than or less than anyone else. Teachings are not defined as one specific area. We all have teachings, whether it's around health, children, data collection, cultural knowledge, peace and kindness, or love and understanding. We all have important teachings and skills to share with the world. So what I have done is I broke down medicine wheel teachings to incorporate storytelling, and not really sure if anybody has done this before, but it was just a project that we did here at work, me and my lovely co-worker Susan Ramsey. We brought the teachings of Indigenous storytelling to some students, and what I decided to do was break it into the medicine wheel and incorporate the teachings. And so I'm going to share those teachings throughout the next few sessions of our Come Walk in My Moccasins newsletter. So I hope you get to see that we're all storytellers, and just to reflect on what kind of story are we telling in our lives, what story do we want to be able to tell later in life, and are those stories reflective of how we're living now, how we're sharing now. So with that, I'm going to close this one off, and we will see you in the next newsletter.